Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As always, this is my second time filming this video because I just didn't like my energy in the first video. It's fine. I'm posting this one. Few things. I chopped off all my hair. I did it immediately after uploading that last video because I hated my hair. And I was like, I'm tired. I'm chopping it all off. Here we are. I like it much better now. Second thing, crazy eyeshadow is for YouTube. But I actually like this, and I'm going to do it when it's not so hot outside because this is a crayon, eyeshadow crayon. It's going to melt off. Anyways, let's get right into this. I want this video to be a little short, and my last take was long, but we're just going to get right into it. The one and only thing that I read and finished last week, Bloodline. I did finish this. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I gave it a 4.5 stars. There was so much about this book, and I really did like it a lot. Don't know if I'm ever going to reread it because it was so bittersweet. I think my favorite moments were whenever Han was around in the hollows and stuff. I think those moments with Han were awesome. I liked seeing what their relationship was actually like before the events of the last three movies that I personally don't like the last three movies, and it has nothing to do with the characters and everything to do with how the story was and how the story was portrayed. The characters were fine. Rey was great. It's not the characters that I don't like about those movies. That being said, it was really interesting to read this, to read Leia's perspective in this, to figure out what she was doing before everything went down, and to figure out how is it the Resistance? Is it called the Resistance and not the Rebellion? It's on like the last page. Yes. So the Resistance and the rise of the Resistance and all of that. And it was really interesting to read that, but also really bittersweet because you know what happens and it's like, ah! Anyways, that was really good. I was not expecting the one thing to happen at the very, very end with her political friend. I wasn't expecting that. But I was expecting basically everything else. But yeah, it was really good. 4.5 stars. That was the only thing I read last week and finished. If you saw my last video, you know I was going to read Witch Trial. I did not end up reading that. I sent that back to the library. It wasn't holding my attention. Car just drove by. Awkward. It wasn't holding my attention, and so I decided I don't want to read something that isn't really holding my attention, that I'm not super invested in the plot in. The first one was a really cute, cheesy mystery, and even though I liked it, the main character was getting on my nerves a little bit because she just acted so dumb. It was like, it was dumbness to the point that I could not get into it at all. Okay, Friday I started Husband Material, which is the sequel to Boyfriend Material. I'm only about a chapter into it, but I'm really liking it. I'm remembering why I loved the characters, which is good because I was worried that going into this sequel without having reread the first one, I wasn't going to enjoy it very much, but I do. I remember most of it. If you've never read the first one, it's just kind of like a cheesy romance novel that has the fake dating trope, but also has a lot of miscommunication. There was about 4 instances of major miscommunication, and I did not like that very much. And so I'm hoping that in this book, since a big part of the first book was that, you know, they wouldn't miscommunicate anymore, and that's how they started being together, I'm hoping that in this book there is no instances of large miscommunication. And if there is, you will hear about it from me next week. Also, I'm not showing it to you because I'm reading it from Libby on my Kindle, and I don't want to jump back to the cover and then jump back to where I was. Okay, then Friday Thursday night, I did start that book on Friday, but Thursday night I got a new hyperfixation, which is learning about one of my old hyperfixations, which is music. But instead of learning about music itself, I'm learning about audio equipment. I don't want to sound pretentious in that, though, because sometimes when people say that they like audio equipment, they're so pretentious. I'm not going to be like that. I'm just learning about better headphones, and I really want I'm doing research, and I really want a digital audio player because I've always, a portable digital audio player because I've always loved iPods, and I love the aesthetic of iPods. So finding out that they make better digital audio players, portable ones, is really cool. And yeah, I've just been researching them a lot. So that's what I spent most of my weekend doing, is researching a lot about audio equipment. And it makes me feel a little silly. But at the same time, this is something that I love. And so yeah. The other thing that I did last week, and probably why my reading was a little bit down, is that last week was the kickoff of the last Overwatch event, which is a little bittersweet. It's the last, it's part three, I think, of their anniversary event, and yeah, it's a little sad that it's the last one, but also it's not really the last one because there's going to be a whole bunch of them for the second game, which is coming out next year. But it's a little sad, but also not. But I'm going to stop repeating myself now because I'm going in circles. So I have been playing that a little bit. Mostly I just wanted to try and do the weekly things, and so I'm going to probably do that today and tomorrow too, do up the weekly events. You win or play a certain amount of games, and you just get some special items, so I'm probably going to be doing that this week. Last Saturday, I did indeed, well, okay, first off, I built furniture in the morning, so that took up most of my day, but that evening I did start to Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I'm about 80 pages into it, and I am enjoying it. Something happened that I was really upset about that happened, even though I saw it coming, because of course I did. That was a fuzzy. Wasps have been getting in my house, and wasps are my biggest fear, and so I was scared that fuzzy was a wasp because I'm home alone, like usual. I am still filming in front of that hallway. You can't see it right now, but yeah, I did start to Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I've only read about 80 pages of it. I am enjoying it. Yes, I'm reading 2 books at a time. Yes, I hate doing that, but I really wanted to boost my reading, and right now I'm in one of those moods where if I'm not reading multiple things at a time, I'm not going to be reading anything. I'm going to be picking husband material up and reading it start to finish. Hopefully I will do that today and tomorrow, and then the later half of the week I will read most of this. Also on the docket for this week is Full Metal Alchemist Volume 10, 11, and 12. They're easy reads. One of my favorite series, obviously, so I'm gonna knock this out this week just to bump my reading a little bit this month. Also, next up, I don't know if I'm gonna be getting to it next week, or this week, so probably next week, I'm going to be starting a series that I read as a child, except gonna finally be reading the last book again. Or finally be reading the last book, I mean. Hopefully next week I will be starting The Last Dragon Chronicles by Chris Delany. Yeah. That was a favorite series of mine as a kid. The first book is like this kind of sweet story about this guy moving into basically a room to live with random people. Tenant, I think that's what it's called. He's renting a room in somebody's house, which is a very big thing in England and Scotland, where I think the author is from, but he based it in the United States, except that nothing about the book seems like it was in the United States. Like, they play a very British game, and they talk about the seasons, and there's a clock tower, and like everything screams England, and it's like, this is supposed to be in America. It is not set in America. Nothing about it seems American. Anyways, gonna be starting that hopefully next week if I finish all of these things this week. So fingers crossed I finish all of this week. And that's it. I have been reading fan fiction. I don't really talk about fan fiction on here. I kind of tried to in the first take of this video and it just sounded cringy. But yes, I have been reading fan fiction. I always read fan fiction. Yeah. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I will say this might be my new filming area because this is just where I sit in the mornings on Mondays anyways. So this might be my new filming area. So yes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Oh, the cats, right. Some of you might be waiting for that. I live out on a farm. My family has barn cats. If I could bring them inside, I would. But this is not my house. And I have no say in that. So, before anybody comes in the comments shouting at me about that, I would bring them in if I could, and I can't. So yes, that is it. Again, I thought I saw a wasp. Paranoia. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful reading week. I hope you read something that you like. Thank you so much for watching.